Hey there, John Chorba here from ReallyEasyGuitarLessons.com, and in this video lesson I'm going to show you how to play a really easy strummy version of Free Fallin' by Tom Petty. So again, it's really easy strumming, so I'm not trying to match anything that's on a recording note for note, although the essence of what we're going to be doing is pretty close to what is on the recording, but this is a streamlined campfire version of the song. And it's great for beginners. There's only 3 chords in it, and depending on what strumming pattern you decide to use, it can either be really easy or a little challenging, but also sound a little more accurate to what's going on the recording. So again, 3 chords, whole song is 1 chord progression over and over again. Let's jump in and get going. All right, to be in the original key of the song, we want to put a capo on the 3rd fret. So I'm going to do this with a capo on 3. Everything that I talk about is in relationship to the capo. So we've got 3 chords in the song: a D, open D string, 2nd fret G string, 3rd fret B string, 2nd fret E string again. All of those are a relationship to the capo. Then we have a G. We're going to do 3rd fret E, 2nd fret A, open D, open G, 3rd fret B, 3rd fret E. And then we're going to do an A, which you can either do as a little mini bar with the open A string, and then using your 1st finger to do 2 of the D, G, and B. The high E can be muted. Or if you want to stick all 3 fingers into that 2nd fret, you can do that as well. Again, 2nd fret of the D, G, and B. Open A, you even get the high E to be open here. With me playing the song, I tend to do it more with the bar. The high E is not necessary in the context of the progression. So just 3 chords: D, G, and A. Okay, for the chord progression for the song, it's interesting because it's a 2-measure progression, but the chords change, a lot of them change on upbeats. So if you are on the newer side of things and you haven't done a lot of stuff yet, this could be a little challenging, but it's also great. I love teaching the song to the beginner guitar player because it gets you to feel what chord changes feel like on upbeats, and there's a lot of songs that do this, and especially if you ever want to get into songwriting, I find that's a very useful songwriting tool to have things happening on upbeats. It just tends to draw the listener's ear in more. So changing on upbeats, what do I mean? So we're gonna, instead of counting, the song's in 4/4, but instead of counting quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, we're gonna count 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? And the first chord happens on beat 1, and then the 2nd chord, the G, is gonna happen on the and of 2, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? And that G is gonna last over the bar line to the next measure, and the next chord change happens on the and of 1, and then the next chord change to the A happens on the and of 2. But that G, D, A, it sounds like that. 1 and then the and of 2. 1 and. All right, if I was to play that 2nd measure and count 8th notes slowly, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If I put both measures together, I get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay? So I have Tom Petty's isolated vocal along with the metronome. The metronome on this one should stay pretty steady. Sometimes when I do these isolated vocal things and I put a metronome to it, because oftentimes things aren't recorded to a click, they could sway a little bit, but I feel like this one was done with a drum machine, so it stays pretty steady throughout. Okay, so any timing mistakes are on me on this one. I can't blame technology. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and just demonstrate what the chord progression sounds like along with the song and a metronome. Again, just isolated vocal and a metronome and me playing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. She's a good girl, loves her mom, loves Jesus. So that is where you want to start with the song. Is first, if you have any trouble going like from D to G or G to A or A back to D, isolate any chord changes that are challenging and definitely work on them, in isolation, because building up chord changes is what gets all beginner guitar players. That's where the main struggle lies. But once you feel pretty comfortable with that, either put on the song or put on a metronome and just work on changing at those times. Don't worry about the strumming pattern to begin with. Just get the chord changing to happen at the right time. And then for our first strumming pattern that we're going to do straight eighth notes with all downstrokes, okay? So strumming hand is just going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all downstrokes, straight eighth notes. However, I want you to accent when the chords change. So on beat 1, you're going to strum it a little bit louder. On that first and of 2, you're going to strum it a little bit louder. On the G, D, A part, we're going to strum those a little bit louder than everything else, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and play along with it. I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and... Okay, so that's what my right hand is going to be doing while my chords change at the correct time. I'm going to do it with the isolated vocal. And then for our second strumming pattern idea, this is now going to be a 2-measure pattern, and we're going to be using 16th notes. So if you don't know what 16th notes are, well, we were just doing eighth notes, which were 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, okay? We're going to add an upstroke in between the numbers and the and. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E. And when you're doing this 16th note pattern, your quarter notes, the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the ands, the upbeats, those are all going to be downstrokes. And then your 16th notes, the ones that happen in between those, are going to be upstrokes, okay? And so we're not going to do a straight 16th note pattern. It's going to sound like this. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. So it's a lot to get your head around. Every time I teach this, I'm laughing because I'm just picturing every single student that I ever taught with this, and their brains kind of frying when they hear how long that strumming pattern is, and you're trying to figure out what's going on with these downs and upstrokes, all right? So let's break it down nice and slow. For the first half of the first measure, okay, 1 and a 2 and, okay? 1 and a 2 and. Down, down, up, down, down. Down, down, up, down, down. And if I put that in the context of the chords, I'm on the D. Down, down, up, down, down. On that second down, I'm changing to the G because that's the and of 2. 1 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and down, down, up, down, down. Hanging on that G for the back half of the measure, I'm going to go up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. So as you're working through this, definitely break it into chunks like this. Take the first half of the measure, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. And the second half, up, down, 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 up. Just compartmentalize it into small chunks and makes it easier for your head to get around it. But okay, so yeah, on the second half of that first measure, up, down, 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 up. That's E and 4 and a, E and 4 and a, up, down, down, down. So if I take the whole first measure I have, 1 and a 2 and E and 4 and, or down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, down. And then for the second measure, we have the G, D, A, which are all downstrokes, and they happen on where they happen 1 and 1 and down, 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 down. And then while you're hanging on that A, the exact same thing you did in the first measure, up, down, 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 up, you do it in this second measure, okay? So the second measure sounds like this, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. You put everything together and you get I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that with the isolated vocal. And like I said at the beginning of the video, that chord progression is the only chord progression. You're doing it from the start of the song all the way through to the end. Nothing changes. It's just doing that over and over again. And I will leave it up to you to decide which strumming pattern that you want to do. You can also mix and match them. Maybe you start the song with a straight 8th note pattern, and then as you know the song kind of kicks in a little bit more for like the first chorus, maybe you switch it to the second pattern, which has a little more dynamics to it. But I will leave that up to you. Use your own discretion on what you think sounds best. Like with all really easy strummy songs, you want to follow the same process. Make sure you know the chords first. Only 3 of them in this song, and they're more on the easier side. And a lot of the chord changes in this aren't that difficult. D to G can give some students some problems. So if you have any issues with any of the chord changing, please focus on that by itself. And then definitely with this song, sometimes it's okay to really skip the chord placing aspect where you're just putting the chords where they belong in the timeline. A lot of times you get songs that all the chords happen on beat 1 and it's very, very easy and straightforward. But if you're on the newer side and you've never done anything where you're changing on upbeats, then I highly, highly recommend that you do the chord placing with this one, because that can throw students off big time. And it's just great practice to get you to understand and feel these 8th notes and having chord changes happen on these upbeats. When you get your head around where the chords are in the timeline, go ahead and add one of the strumming patterns to it. And always remember, when you're adding strumming to your chord changing, watch out for that gap of doom. If you're hearing long gaps of silence when you're strumming in between chord changes, that is the signal that you need to work on your chord changes more. All right, that's it for this video lesson. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.